Alright, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy
What's down?
Evolutions. We're doing the Hot Takes Podcast, episode 4. This chapter was jumping, but first, before we get into that, I'm going to need to introduce my boy Blint. Appreciate you stopping by. Just a few questions just to introduce.
What's going on, gang?
Shit, chilling. When did you first start watching or reading One Piece, and who's your favorite Straw Hat?
Oh man, so I started watching One Piece pretty much like Toonami, like old school type shit. I wasn't in it. I was a big Naruto head, I'll be honest. When it came to the manga, I was one of those guys like, I'm not watching One Piece, I'm not reading it. But I'll be honest, I fell in love with Wano. Like,
Yeah.
I started reading Wano, and for me, like even with manga, like One Piece puts a lot of information at you on one page. But Wano was so interesting. It was so dope. Like it just everything that they brought, all the characters, the changing and like hockey, how that shit evolved. It was like it was dope as hell. So yeah, so Wano definitely. I started back up on the manga specifically. I don't really watch the anime too crazy unless it's a crazy fight. But yeah, that's really what I stick to is the manga. But Wano definitely changed it up for me.
Wano was lit. So before you get into the favorite Straw Hat, it might be controversial. I'm just saying. So, nah.
Yeah.
You see the profile pic. It's like, no.
Man. All right, listen. All right, man. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. My favorite Straw Hat on the cruise got to be Usopp.
Usopp? I fuck with that. I fuck with that. That's a culture.
Yeah,
that's a very cultured take. Very cultured.
It's gotta be Usopp for the simple fact that everything he lies about comes to truth, and so it's it's still some things that's gonna come to pass. You feel me? But it's the most relatable character in terms of like, somebody trying to figure out who they are while trying to be a part of something bigger than them.
Yeah.
And I can 100% relate to that. Like it's just like he's like when him and Luffy fought, like you can't tell me that's not like you and your best friend from years just getting into that one fight and y'all can't talk. Like it's no more talking. Like y'all gotta throw hands. So it's like the emotional development with him, character development with him is like they do him dirty like they do Vegeta. So you feel me? I gotta go for him.
Yeah, nah, I like that. That's very well thought out. Like some people just throw like Zoro and just be like, oh, he's badass and shit like that. But I like that.
100%.
Yeah,
he is.
He is. He's the guy. He's that guy. But
yeah, he's also the most human character on the Straw Hat.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, definitely fucking with Zoro. Me and my boy at the time, like he was a Zoro main, and I'm a Sanji main. Like, that's my dog. So it was always like, oh, Zoro's stronger. Oh, the bounty, this and that. It's like, damn, like, yo, my boy. And then like for a long time, it was like, Oda was doing Sanji dirty or whatever, and like in Fishman when he was out for mad long because his nose was bleeding and shit like that. It was a rough time for Sanji fans. But shit, we're about to get into this chapter, man. I know everybody itching to talk about what's going on. Shit. We're gonna
Let's get it.
Let's pull up the emails and shit. Hold up. Alright, so first, the cover story. What y'all think about the cover story? We got Kuzan and one of Blackbeard's men, and we got Puddin. What do y'all think about that?
So, with the cover story, I noticed that because you know how Oda he always has likes to mirror or like put things into perspective with like whatever he does. So, for example, we first get introduced to the silhouettes on 1046, and then we finally get the reveal on 1064. You see how he mirrored the 64 and 46?
Yeah, I peeped that.
Yeah, and then with Kuzan and Von Augur, we see that this is actually taking place before the events of the current story, with the whole pinning thing.
Right.
How she got kidnapped. I find that interesting because normally I assume that it was going on like because when Blackbeard he went out to go capture. He said he was gonna go out. It was like back there in Wano. He said he was gonna head out. So I was thinking that he sent like Kuzan and Von Augur.
So
you mean when he said if that point in time when Blackbeard was like, if they're just gonna leave it there for me, I'm just gonna go get it?
Yeah. So I assume that's when I assume that's when he went to go send them out. So I assume the cover story took place during the event.
So that
And
probably, so that means he was probably talking about, he wasn't maybe talking, he was talking about the Revolutionary Army, but maybe he was also talking about how Big Mom left Tawano and left Whole Cake Island just free with Katakuri.
That is
yeah, that's
true.
why.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Hmm.
they were vulnerable.
That's crazy. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
actually a
perfect
good
timing.
point.
That's crazy. There's like 2 timelines going on. That's really dope.
Hmm.
So you
Yeah,
think
we found,
they're gonna capture her, check her memories out, or what do you think is exactly gonna go on from there?
Once they get the poneglyphs, they got somebody of the Third Eye tribe. They could pretty much, they can get her to do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And Blackbeard, he knew he was gonna run into somebody coming out of Wano, and at that
Yeah,
point he
one
was
of the
just like,
3.
well, one of y'all got Kaido's poneglyph, so somebody gonna have to give it up.
hmm
Yeah,
and we actually found out that. What were you saying?
No, I was just gonna say Blackbeard's a menace.
Yeah, he's smart. Like
Yeah.
the way he set everything up. Like he's like, all right, Kuzan, you guys go after Pudding. We're gonna go after Law. We're gonna set this up. We're gonna be here at this point. We're gonna when one of the trio, the Supernova trio, come, we're gonna ambush them. Like he knows what he's doing. Like him and Shanks are getting serious about getting the One Piece.
Yeah.
But
Seriously, yep.
for the cover story, I was gonna say that we actually found out that Kuzan is actually on Blackbeard's crew.
Yeah, like it's
We didn't
confirmed
have.
now.
Yeah, like we just got like a little hints that they were probably working together. It's probably like an alliance, but no, he's under Blackbeard. I found that interesting.
It's so
Like, maybe-
crazy. Like it's so crazy to me that he would do this. Like
Yeah.
it's still wild. It makes sense though, because he's so like he's like lazy justice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So like.
Oh, do you got that's you guys know about all the admirals and their sense of justice, right?
It's like lazy justice, absolute justice, and then
uncertain justice, and then I think Fujitori's is blind justice or something like that.
Probably blind.
Oh, no.
yeah, it's just like it's just clear cut what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah.
Where it's
Yeah.
like and it's like Kuzan has shown a lot more times than the other admirals where it's like he knows where he has to do what he's ordered, but it's just like I can let it slide if it's for the right thing.
Yeah.
That's why
Pretty
he
much.
lets Luffy go when they first fight, but he like chalks it up to he like tries to make an excuse for it. Like
Even with Robin.
I'm only doing this. Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah, he did.
I'm only doing this because Garp saved me once. That's it. Let Robin go on Orihara. Like, I like
And
the sense of
because
justice.
he used to be directly under Garp. A lot of people forget that. Like he has a different sense of than what Akainu has. Like Akainu was part of that whole Buster call. Then while Kuzan was, being under the tutelage of the fucking hero of the Marines, like this is these are two different people on the spectrum. This is why Akainu is as cutthroat as he is, and Kuzan, who's just as powerful. Don't get him wrong, but he's just like, I'm powerful. I don't have to be the most powerful.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's why it's crazy that he's working under Blackbeard. But
yeah, that's crazy because like, does he really have to work under him, or can he run his own shit, or maybe he's being a double agent? Like,
yeah,
he definitely has his own agenda.
Yeah, that'll probably lead into Sword later on. We'll see what Oda does with it.
Yeah.
But like I said, these cover stories are always interesting, and I really think people should like actually read them. I know some dudes just want to get straight to the chapter, but check out the cover stories. They're always going to be some hidden details in there.
Yeah, you learn so much.
Yeah, and it makes you think like why or what or how, because it's like we don't really know what fucking Kuzan wants. Like we kind of have an idea, but like in terms of like capitalization or like execution, like what's the end game for him? Like eventually, like this plan is gonna meet its end. So like, what is he gonna do? Like once like they're on Raftel, or like once Kuzan gets what he wants, is he gonna turn his back, or is he just gonna leave him or disappear? Like it's just like there's so many questions like how this is gonna plan out. That like I'm curious as hell, because it's like if he's lazy justice, like I don't think like he's gonna ride for what Blackbeard's views are 100%. Like there's gonna be a turning point where they see differences, and then there's gonna be drama, and I just want to know what that's gonna be or how that's gonna plan out.
Nice.
Out the way, Goda, man.
Goda. Shit. And man, That was a pretty big part. You know, the community. The next part that I want to talk about, the community was like, you know, they were ratioing Law, and like pretty much the community was leaning towards like he was gonna get washed. Like he was like his crew was like chips.
Oh, 100%.
Like they were just small fries.
It was like there's Law, and then once Law attacks, there's just everybody else taking a hit.
Yeah.
It was like, nah.
They said that he was gonna get jumped.
Pretty much, like fight back, fight back.
That shit was hilarious.
Nah, man, his crew. It just showed that his crew had the camaraderie that they got and how they worked together. Like it's also the only crew that has a submarine. Like they probably have nonstop maintenance. They probably got to make sure everybody's working together. Like, and it showed in the fight, 100%. Like and they were watching everybody's blind spots while fighting and defending themselves.
They were just so technical, and they stated like, yeah, I could be stronger, but like in the water, like we got this down packed. Like, but before we even go into that, like, as soon as like Blackbeard and Law started scrapping, like Law whipped out his awakening. Like he wasn't at a critical state. Like he was fresh. Like he whipped that shit out like it was a Super Saiyan. Like he was like, "What's up? Like I'm out here. Like what do you like?"
Makes you think like, what the fuck is awakenings? Like are these special conditions? Or can Luffy just once he masters it, can he just do that in the beginning of a fight? Like Katakuri, can he do the same thing? Like this is nuts. What an awakening Devil Fruit can actually do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. So basically, Luffy does have advanced conquerors hockey coding. So like, if he ever scraps with a Yonko, he doesn't have to go straight into Gear 5. But Law, we know that if he wants to contend with a Yonko, he's gonna have to bust out the Awakening, which is scary for the upcoming fight. So like, he's fighting Blackbeard right now. Boom, straight Awakening. He's not gonna be able to do anything without it.
That's true.
So
yeah, he has to
like shit like that.
But at the same time, I'm sorry.
I'm just gonna say this is gonna tire him out like fast.
Yeah, because like Law, like from what it looks like Law's stamina isn't all that. Because like he goes like 150 from the jump. Like he doesn't build up like your traditional like anime protagonist.
Sweating.
Like,
he's sweating like
he got a hyper carry. He has to hyper carry his team. Like and like yo, I don't know about y'all, but like I noticed like his crew, they're eating like apples. And like they're shooting fucking beams from underwater and shit. Like, where do y'all think that comes from?
What do you mean they're eating apples?
Like,
oh, you mean wasn't the apples from the doctor on Blackbeard's?
Yeah. So like, so like they drop, and then like, cause I'm looking at the panel right now. Like he ate that shit and then he just like spat it at them. Like, do you think that was like a devil fruit that he converted it to, or like?
Yeah,
I thought that guy was like a fishman.
Fish? Yeah, I mean he does have like the dolphin thing on his head, but like that really stood out to me because it's like, all right, now they got some artillery on their side. Like they ain't not just holding like some bum ass swords. Like they really got some shit in their pocket.
Yeah, to me it looked like the doctor threw the apples, and they were just like trying to run away, and then the fishman dude blew them out the sky.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah, I was skimming. That makes a lot more sense.
But I didn't even know they had a fishman on their team.
Yeah, yes. There you go.
But going back to the first page after the cover story, did it not confuse you what Law was doing to Blackbeard's fruit? Like I had to like go online to see what was going on with that. So I'm hearing that Law cancel because the way the quick fruit works is that it needs sound waves to actually activate. So Law is canceling out the sound, which is why it couldn't. Yeah, so that's what I was initially confused, but I guess that's what was happening with Law and Blackbeard there on the first page when he used Cover Crush.
That's true. Like
because we see it in they're destroying anything, and then the next page they just fall down after.
Yeah, because he stated in the chapter previous that like extreme control over your hockey can cancel out somebody's devil fruit, which he did when he got transformed into a woman.
Yeah, the sick fruit. So damn, so his hockey's good enough to fucking cancel out Blackbeard shit. That's wild. That's a feat.
I also think about these awakened abilities. Like he's not a zone fruit user, so it's not like he's going to transform into this hyper version of something. He's the Opi no Mi pretty much he uses through the room. Basically, he also uses his knowledge of like surgery with his sword and all that stuff. It's obvious with his attacks, but it's more so his attacks that are awakened. Not I don't want to like Law has no changes to his body at all.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not like
So he
in that
doesn't
sense.
transform, get higher durability, more striking power. Yeah.
Because a lot of the awakens that we really kind of correlate with the word or with the phrase is zone fruits, like how they're changing, Katakuri changing the world, Dolphy changing the world to string, Luffy changing the world to rubber. This is an awakened fruit, and especially with Kid also, even though he's not in this chapter, like it's more so his attacks and how the usage of his ability, they're pretty much amplified. So it's like it's crazy to think like he can stab people with his sword, but he doesn't leave a physical wound. Like
It's only like internal.
yeah, it's like it's crazy. It's like what if he stabbed somebody and then turned off the room? Does the sword still stay in them?
Oh.
Yeah,
Like I've always thought about that. Like I've always thought about that. Like what happens when he turns off the room and that person still has a fucking blade going through their heart?
Ooh. Yeah. that power. Honestly, that's my favorite power. Like the OP fruit. That's my shit.
Yeah, it's so versatile.
Hell yeah, like, and like that also like so given like Law, and like back to the awakenings, like it seems like he has a very good grasp on like his devil fruit. So do you think like that would tie into like why he's able to awaken? Like he's just so like he's good at using his fruit, or like what do you?
Yeah, yeah. Kaido actually makes a statement about this. I forgot the exact words. He says when your mind
catches up to your body type shit.
Yeah,
or your body
then,
catches up to your mind.
Yeah, then that's when you awaken. That's when you awaken your devil fruit. Because you have to. The way the devil fruit works is that you have to be. I don't want to say in tune with it, but you have to know your devil fruit. If that makes sense. But let me see if I can pull the chapter where he said that. But you guys continue on.
When it comes to Law, like he studied like his craft. Like, it's just like Chopper. Like even though Chopper's devil fruit has nothing to do with medicine, imagine if it did. Like I'm sure the doctor on Blackbeard's shit, he's already a doctor, so him having the sick fruit and being able to affect people with these different diseases, he said it himself. Like now that Law beat him with that, he got like the antibodies or whatever, and now like he's good. Like so it's like once he infects somebody, it's almost like he almost stated that once he infects somebody with a disease, he can't infect them again with the same disease.
Okay.
So that's almost like he almost kind of gave away his weakness in the same sense in that one statement.
Yeah, because it's like, what's to say he doesn't counter the next sickness? Or like, what could the next?
And also,
be?
Did anybody else peep how Pegasus got cut in half?
Yeah, I was looking at that. He just got sliced.
And just that was it. Like he was just sliced in half under the room and just stayed sliced. Like nothing else happened to him. I was like, okay.
Yeah, we know how Law's fruit works, so I don't think he's dead or anything.
Yeah,
but
I don't
think he's dead either. But he's out of the fight unless he starts flying with one wing or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, he's definitely cooling for the rest of the fight at this rate.
But apparently, you can put the body parts back to with the whole Kinemon thing.
Yeah, Kinemon. Yeah.
They put the body back, so maybe they could do that. But I doubt. I think Law has to have some kind of influence on that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But like I said last week, I do apologize for calling Law's crew terrible. They did their thing this chapter.
They definitely did their thing, and they got the submarine. Beeple was out here, cooking up. Cause that isn't Beeple like Law's like secondhand man, like his Zoro.
Yeah, the right.
Yeah, second in commit.
Yeah, so he definitely got something up his sleeve that we don't know about. And also, before we get off the topic of awakenings, do you think like the Delphi awakenings are like peak? Like for example, like Law like maxed out, or like what do you think is next? Like do you think like as far as Delphi, like he already like in the show, like he's already like peaked?
I think every form of hockey, observation, all that shit plays a part in your devil fruit. So I feel like if he maxes out his observation hockey, he could probably do some X-ray shit. If he does like, he powers up his armor, he could probably do some crazy scaffolding. Like, I don't know. I think he could just like whatever hockey you're more mastered in is how you craft your devil fruit as well. So it's like that's why like, with the armament hockey, that's why Luffy's so good at it and how he uses it. But if he was more observational, he would use it differently. And I just wonder with Opie no Mi, which one of those hockeys best suits it. And I'm not really sure. I feel like maybe observation for the simple fact that he's a surgeon.
Yeah,
but
very precise.
Not too sure. Yeah, that's what I would figure. He would go for the more precise. So I think it's more so his hockey control Because like once your hockey gets to a certain level, like everything else just gets boosted. Doesn't even matter.
Hockey's it. Like that's the meta for that universe.
Yeah, like Luffy could do just his gum punch, and it's just gum pistol, and it's just like if his hockey is 100 times that, but he only had one move, then his one move is just that much stronger. Like,
that's nuts. So what about the Warport Fruit activation that rescues Blackbeard? Right?
Do y'all have a clarification on how his Devil Fruit activates? I was under the assumption he had to be touching somebody to teleport. He has to be. He can't just teleport himself. He has to teleport him and something else that's living.
Like, yeah, there always has to be some kind of limitation. So that's what I thought. But it looks like
he just straight up
maybe like Nightcrawler, where I'm thinking like maybe like Nightcrawler from X-Men, where he just has to think about where he wants to go. But then again, he would just teleport anywhere.
Because he had to teleport, what is it, Burgess or whatever the dude's name was?
To the island.
To the island. But he was touching it. Said it was like he could teleport anywhere as long as he's touching somebody else. And that's kind of like the trade-off. It's like you could teleport an enemy, but as long as they hold on to you, you can't get away. So it's like while he was, hovering over the water about to fall into the ocean, he just teleports next to him and then teleports him back to the thing. So I was confused as to how his, Devil Fruit actually works.
Yeah, he teleports onto him and then he's back on land afterwards. That's a good observation.
Maybe because what Oda tends to do is like he doesn't flesh out everything until like they get into fights. So for example, Zoro versus when he scarred Kaido, we get a hint that Zoro has Conqueror's Haki. Advanced Conqueror's Haki, but he doesn't flesh out the green. Did you guys see the Volume 102 cover art?
Volume.
Which one?
Volume 100. Volume 102 is Sanji with his Ifrit, Luffy, and then Zoro with his Advanced Conqueror's Haki. We see the smoking Advanced Conquerors on his sword.
Let me pull it up right now. I think I know exactly. That's what the reveal of Sanji's leg, right, being blue.
Yeah, Volume 102.
Look that up right now. Excuse me.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, so Alex, you got it up?
No, I'm trying to look for it, but that shit's not coming up for me.
You just put One Piece Volume 102 in Google. It should pop up. But yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, so with the whole Zoro Scar and Kaido thing, and Kaido alluding to Zoro having Conquerors and Advanced Conquerors, like Oda doesn't flesh out the green smoke until later when Zoro fights King. Yep. So I'm thinking that he won't flesh out Von Augur. He always does this, so I'm thinking he won't flesh out Von Augur's ability until maybe his fight with Usopp, when they start explaining their abilities.
Like sniper for sniper.
Yeah, so we'll find out like how the teleport function works.
Also, at the bottom of that panel, where right after Blackbeard's like kind of like damn near passed out coughing, if you peep, does he put like a sword in the air or something? Like who's putting that sword in the air?
Sword in the air.
Like if you look right before he says, "This is what happens when you charge in half cop." Like right before that, the middle panel, he like puts like a sword in the air. It's like a shadowed sword, and like you see Blackbeard in the background, and then it's like 3 dots. It's just quiet.
Wait, what did you say? This is what happens when Russian.
I think that's just his hat, and then his gun is pointed upwards.
Is it? Does his gun look like a sword?
It looks like the musket.
His hat, that's his hat, and then his gun is pointed upwards. The thing that looks like the.
I thought, bro, to me that looks like somebody holding up a sword. That's definitely his silhouette with his gun.
I was like, oh shit, we on one right now.
Yeah, but going back to the Laws Crew Park, I definitely want to talk about this because we did bring it up earlier before the whole podcast. With Beppo sensing Von Augur about to shoot Law, like he has to have some kind of god tier observation haki.
Bro, he has to, because how do you catch that? Like, how do you be like, yo, 3 o'clock to call it out before the shot even comes? Like, think of how quick those bullets come as from a sniper of all people.
Yes.
Von Augur isn't.
I was gonna say his observation haki got to be on 100.
Yeah, because Von Augur isn't no slouch. Like he's shooting birds from like kilometers away, like perfectly, and then when he shoots Ace, he like fires it so fast he like shoots Ace and then he like basically blows Ace brains out and shoots him in his heart. That's how fast he is with the gun.
He's a shooter, bro.
So
And then
yeah,
John Bart being able to move quick enough to get in the way of the bullet and tank it completely was nuts.
Yeah. So like I said, I have to completely apologize for last week about underestimating Law's crew.
Yeah, definitely. That was wild when he tanked the sniper shot for him. That's some loyalty shit, man. Law's big bro.
Yeah, and then he just is like he's some bodyguard, and then it's just like they just write that off as like some little panel, but it's like dog, he just tanked the shot and took no damage from it.
Shit. Yeah, that is solid. I love Law's crew symbol. That shit's so tough. But my boy tanked that shit. Hey man, shit. If I had players like that in a fucking Overwatch, they'll tank for me and shit. You know what I'm saying? Shit.
And then the next page we have while talking about how all the offenses have powers now. We knew in the last chapter that they talked about all of their abilities. So I don't know.
Where's Shorty that could transform?
I think there's still. I think because this is after the whole Boa debacle, so I'm thinking that he just like let them stay home and rest, recover. But
I was thinking, like, what if she pops out as like she's pretending to be Blackbeard or something else? Like
that would be sick. Or maybe
that's
her the whole time.
That's what I'm saying. Or maybe even Shuri was there. He's just invisible, waiting for his moment to strike.
Exactly.
Shuri's basically his right hand man, so I don't see why he wouldn't go with Blackbeard.
But also, if the stepping in Law's room, can he detect you even if you're invisible?
He should be able to detect you.
I don't know, because the way invisibility works in One Piece, so far from what we know, is that no one can sense invisible users. Yeah. So basically, Absalom, I think his name was, from Thriller Bark. Did you guys notice? Yeah, he was there during the whole entire Marineford War, and no one sensed him.
That's true. That is very true.
Also,
there was a lot going on.
Yeah, that and Marineford was definitely like that was like the core of like some plot holes. Like for example, like nobody was using hockey and shit. Like I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of loose ends like on Marineford that like maybe like couldn't be written off or like they were just swept under the rug. That's just
like
my hot take.
I like how Law says like, oh, so if all your people have powers, he was like, you're hauling around so many anchors, and it's like because look at his crew. Probably only maybe out of like the 20 people, 5 of them have devil fruit powers. Maybe we don't even know.
Maybe Law is just the only one.
Yeah, like it's just like you barely know who can do what, and it's like, and then Blackbeard counters it with like it's a weakness that's well worth the trade off for everybody to be that strong, which is true. Like think about it, like you can't if you have to put me in the water, but putting me in the water is your issue.
Yeah. But this is the perfect matchup though, because they got a submarine, and this is the perfect matchup. Goda, he did his thing.
Yeah, they're like fighting in the water, like trying to get them to go into the water.
Yep.
But I think this next segment with the whole pudding thing was pretty interesting because they're like alluding to. Because at first I'm thinking that Big Mom was dead, but it's like there's no confirmation, and they're hinting that she's probably still alive.
Yeah, Kaido as well, maybe. So they might pull up for round 2.
Because he says Mama is still alive. Yeah, I don't think Oda would kill her off though, because we still have Luffy saying that he wants to take her down, and that would just completely destroy that whole plot line.
Yeah, plus, they say right after that, new eras only happen when the old legends are torn down.
Yeah,
so it's
that
like,
was a bar.
It's like, what are you saying? Are you saying that Big Mom really isn't dead? She just got defeated? Like, she's not down for the count?
Yeah, I think so.
But then,
that shit was nuts. And then then the Quay fruit versus Law's, like, whatever the hell attack that is. I don't even know. What do you call it? The
Shock Willie,
the Wet Willie, whatever it's called.
Shock Willie.
Oda's done with these names, man.
Yeah, he be going crazy. But that versus the Quake fruit was nuts.
Mm. But did you guys notice there's like a small detail. So basically, putting Thief not scared to show her third eye anymore. I think this has
Yeah,
to
she
do with
rocking that shit. She wild.
yeah, this has to do this like shows some like characterization from her because you know Sanji's whole thing where he called her eye beautiful. Like before she
Mm.
was like scared, she didn't want to show it off, like terrified of it. But now Sanji said it was beautiful. Now she's showing it off. I don't know. It's interesting. Some character development,
Nah, definitely some
characterization for her.
character development there.
You know what? Another thing, small detail that I look very closely to when Blackbeard's on the page is his teeth, because you know how they say he's three different people
Oh,
possibly.
mm-hmm.
But
Ooh, let's
throughout
come
this
back.
the entire chapter and the entire time he's there, he has the same like shape and form of teeth. Like the same teeth are missing in the same exact spots. Like that's something they pay very close attention to, and Oda is very specific on, and it doesn't change not once during this whole interaction with him versus Law.
It's 3 teeth missing, right?
Yeah, it's 3 teeth
Yeah.
missing, 2 up top, 1 on the bottom, and it stays consistent throughout the entire chapter. Sometimes, depending on, a lot of times it changes.
Yeah, so what I'm thinking is if Oda really is gonna keep going that route, if like Blackbeard starts changing his personality, like if he starts like foreshadowing it, we'll like see Blackbeard start changing his personality and then we'll see his teeth change. If Oda really wants to focus on that, but I don't think he's gonna go too deep into that right now.
Fine, yeah, most likely not. But that's damn, yeah, that's a good point. I love that theory that Blackbeard has like 3 different personalities. Like that's hella interesting. Cause like
It's Jolly Roger, man. He has the only different Jolly Roger than anybody else in One Piece.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why would you have 3 people?
Three.
Why would you have 3?
That's true.
Blackbeard is a very self-centered, conceited motherfucker.
Oh,
So
yeah.
why would you have 3 people up there?
Yeah.
How do you think like what is that? Is that like a power? Do y'all think, or as just like a personality? Like obviously the personality
He also
thing.
doesn't sleep. There's a lot of, I mean, there's a lot of speculation, a lot of facts that go into the theory of him being 3 people, the Jolly Roger, him not being able to sleep, people living, 3 divided by 24 hours in a day is 8. So it's like they could just change every 8 hours, sleep for 8 hours, and then change personalities to never sleep. So it's like a lot of stuff that goes into it. Him having the Quake fruit and the fucking dark fruit, and then questioning what is he looking for? Does he, if he gets the Opie no Mi, is he the person that uses it, or can he use it and then use the Opie no Mi's ultimate ability on himself? So he
Mhm.
goes from,
Immortality.
yeah. So and then he loses one of his lives, so now he's down to 2, but one of them is immortal. Like crazy to think of,
Yeah,
like,
bro, he'll be fucking cracked, cracked
There's a
out.
lot of
Fucking face Blackbeard and shit.
another crazy thing about the last part of at the end of this Law versus Blackbeard is he uses Black Vortex.
Black Vortex, yeah, he used that to capture
you know what that
Ace.
does.
Yup.
Yeah.
Listen.
he put him in his Duffy.
Hey, man.
He's like, we out of here,
But-
man.
I'm still standing on what he said last chapter, that control of one's hockey, or enough like extreme levels of control of hockey, can break another one's devil fruit. I think Black Vortex works in the same way, but without the hockey.
Yeah, that's the whole point of it.
That would make
he
sense.
He grabs Ace, and then Ace loses his devil fruit. He grabs Luffy, slams his neck on the ground. Luffy loses his devil fruit powers.
So, alright, that I just thought I had like a fucking brain blast. So let's say like, okay, in order to use a devil fruit, it requires like at least some sort of hockey, right? Like at least like a small ass percentage, right? So let's say, like back to when he stole Whitebeard's fruit. Let's say he used like an ability. Let's say he used like Black Vortex, and like that sucks like all the hockey out of them. And then if they don't have hockey, the devil fruit pops out, and then he can absorb it. What if that would be some shit?
That would be, but is Law at his limit? That's the biggest question.
That's true. That is true.
Law broke out of a whole disease where he was turned into a female.
Yeah.
He has enough willpower to take on Yonko, so
Yeah.
He definitely has
fighting. Yeah. So,
but Black Vortex,
Black
Vortex has only been used 3 times or 4 times, and every time it's been to knock somebody out or just capture somebody, steal their devil.
It's no good. But
so
And it's scary because that's how the fight, well, the whole Law of Blackbeard segment ends from the chapter, and then we cut to Akainu talking about they're gonna wait for the fight to conclude.
Exactly, and it's crazy how he says we're forced to wait again. Like, why does them fighting stop you from doing anything? Blackbeard is no longer a warlord.
Like, he should just go. Like, he talks about his position at the fleet admiral. Because, you know, if you're a fleet admiral, he can't actually go. He has to just send, like, Kizaru, Fujitora, Greenbow. He can't actually, like, make moves. He has to stay back, defend the base.
And at the same time, he can't just, like, be like, fuck it. This is my good idea. I'm captain. This is what we're doing. Like, nah, fleet admiral or not, you got to sit on that chair and do that paperwork, baby.
So, like, he's itching to go fight. Because, you know, he doesn't like the
him becoming fleet admiral low key was like a nerf, and I feel like whoever made him fleet admiral, like Garp saying like nah, like denying it so much, low key could have been a play to make him fleet admiral, so that way he was limited to the damage he could cause on the battlefield.
Oh,
type shit.
No, I never thought about it that way.
Yeah. Like I feel like the way Akainu's been like he's been set aside, but on a throne, so you see him, but he can't do much. Like he's stuck to that throne.
Yeah.
And it's like I feel like that was a power move by Oda, like because it's like fuck, this dude is so powerful. Anywhere he shows up, he's just gonna tear it up.
Exactly.
And the only person right now that's close to him is Kuzan. So it's like if Kuzan's not there to stop him, who's gonna stop him?
Damn, that's.
I was also saying that maybe they're like seeing how like his sense of justice is. The absolute sense of justice, like he's like going overboard with it. So like maybe have him sit out for a little bit. You know what I mean? Like the whole Howard thing, he's like blowing up the whole island. Like I don't know, maybe just want him to like relax a bit.
Also, I find it funny that they're on Winter Island.
Right, it's literally called Winter Island, not Winter Island. I don't know.
Yeah, that's like something about that has to be like that's specific. Why name it that? Like what winter of what? What does that mean?
Like into like future events.
Man, that just makes me think it's just they're gonna have an ass pool for Blackbeard. But hey,
Law loses, and then because the whole thing with the Blackbeard versus Ace thing, it led until even the narrator says, even the narrator when the fight ends says this is gonna lead to great events for the future. And then we have this island named Winter Island specifically.
Bro, you think this will break out into like a war or like the beginning of one? Like,
definitely.
The thing is, like, the war happened because like Ace was like Whitebeard's son, and Whitebeard was big dog, so like he had to pull up with his people.
Whitebeard also understood, like it wasn't just because it was his family, like. Had it been any other pirate crew, they would have understood, like, yo, we can't go there. Like, if we show up there, you know what that means. Like, this shit's crazy.
Whitebeard and the crew found out that Kaido killed Odin. They didn't even want to go after Kaido.
Exactly. You look at shit like that, and you're like, damn, like, you didn't move on that, but then you moved on this. And even when he moved on it, it was like they knew what they were walking into.
Yeah, homie got smoked.
They knew this was... This is not what you do. Like if you walk onto this battlefield, you're probably gonna die.
Yep. Like they had the warlords, admirals, the whole marine base.
I gotta rewatch that, reread it, bro. That shit. Like thinking about it now, like it was a war, bro. Like it was not like it was.
Well, they was getting it, and then you gotta think. Oh, Shanks pulls up and just.
He was like, alright, yo, everybody go the fuck home. Everyone's like, alright, we out. We out, bye.
He was like, either y'all can fight me, or y'all can go home. And they said, I'm gonna let you.
He was like, alright, yo, catch you, alright, bet.
Bro, and look what Shanks has done just to the way he puts fear into people just off his hockey alone is
Greenbow was shivering, but he was like, alright, yo, I'm out. You got it.
Yeah, but I was saying that's what I think might happen because we have Kobe already captured. Maybe Law gets defeated, gets captured too. And then Luffy finds out news about this, like, oh, he got Kobe and Law? We got to go do something about this. But, because Luffy and them, they don't find out all of this information until later. Like, Ace gets captured. They have the whole Thriller Bark arc, Sabaody, the Amazon Lily. Like, so even if it does happen, we're not gonna find out till later. If anyone's like worried about like, oh, but Luffy isn't ready yet, they're not gonna go after Blackbeard and all of that right now. Like, obviously not. They're gonna find out maybe like arcs later in like newspapers or something, and then that's when it's gonna kick off the events of the Straw Hats versus Blackbeard Pirates or something. Because we still have the whole Grand Fleet, and like, what are they gonna do with that? They haven't stood up for Wano or nothing.
Yeah, I think they're waiting for one big last push.
And this is the event that will set it off, is what I'm thinking.
I
But
agree.
how do you guys feel about the Bonnie and Kuma section of the chapter?
Hold
They
up.
didn't really
That
go into
island.
much.
I
Yeah,
think I think I had signed a. Hold up.
Nah, there's a lot of crazy things that happen in this part right here.
Yeah.
Not crazy with Bonnie, but crazy in general.
yeah, like
Luffy
reveals.
turning 70 years old
Yeah, a
at
glimpse of
the,
the potential future.
but that's the bad timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the SPS, that's the bad timeline of Luffy.
Oda
Mm.
didn't want to. Oda didn't want to do the good version because that Luffy would be too OP, even though he's 70.
Yeah, he would be fucking.
Also, it would also be like, oh yeah, so Luffy obviously got the One Piece. This is the timeline that,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So this kind of is just like, well, he didn't get the One Piece, so could technically be the bad future if he didn't get it. Then they showed Jinbei as a kid was also in that SPS, so it's crazy that they actually made those two characters canonical.
Yeah, and they didn't show the Chopper good and bad version of his older self, right? And the SBS.
Nah, this is a first time we're getting a glimpse at this version of Chopper, which is pretty dope.
Okay, yeah, that's sick. And then I guess the way they explain the escape the explosion was because Bonnie doesn't want to hurt Kuma, so I guess she just aged them and ran.
Mm. So, what do y'all think Kuma did? Because Jinbei's over here saying he was a tyrannical king. Fucking, what made him? What was so important that he had to like give up his whole body to be a fucking cyborg? Like,
Well, they say he was like casted out by his own kingdom, by his people, and then while he's explaining this, Bonnie's just quiet, listening. So I feel like there's this
misconception.
like the world. Yeah, it's a huge misconception. Like the world
I think
government
yeah.
can put out and whatever they want, and it's even reached the Fishman Island. Like, and I feel like that's how in deep and how like crazy it is, and how they miscue like information so crazy that even like Fishman Island knows of Kuma and how crazy he was, even though they've never met him or seen him personally.
Yeah,
They
it's
just
all
know all this
propaganda.
information. Yeah,
And you
and it's
see
like
Bonnie get just finish your point real quick.
I was saying, she just stayed quiet while like they just kept explaining it, and she never really got into it like until
with the
finally reached that point.
Yeah, with the dots. Her
Mhm.
reaction, she was just quiet during the whole explanation, and then after that, she gets angry. She grabs like a saber and like has a little like fit. So I'm thinking like there's definitely something going on with that where not all the information is correct.
Yeah.
Is correct.
Cause like they're saying
The order
like
wouldn't just show that for no reason.
he got
That
caught
random
by the
battle.
he got caught by the Navy, and then like his revolutionary ties came to light. Then they gave him a life sentence, and it's like, damn, like a life sentence, bro. Like the fuck was he doing that gave him a life sentence type shit, like. Or and then then he was offered the opportunity to roam the seas as a Shichibukai, under the condition he became a specimen. So like they're
A
saying
dog for the government.
yeah, like a dog for the government, and they were saying like he had the physical prowess, all that, but it's like why Akuma? Like I don't know, like what knowledge did he have, or like
I think it's because he was king of one of the. They just want to make an example out of him. So because he was basically a king under the reverie. Am I correct?
I believe he was one of the
The Sword
also one of the what is it, the original 20 kingdoms?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Under reverie, the Holy Land.
what was it called? Like the king, he was the tyrannical king of Sorbet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, he was probably like you said, one of the 20 kingdoms. He was one of them. So
Yeah,
shit.
I think this is one of the examples.
And then Bonnie, then like you were saying, like she grabs the thing. Bonnie starts talking about how like she gets it. Like, cool, I can understand the warlord thing. I can understand making clones of yourself, but why would you just become a mindless cyborg? That's literally just killing yourself. What's the difference?
It would never
And then,
work for them. That's what she says. Yeah.
and then Jinbei's just like, exactly, like that's why he got his life sentence. And she just bursts out and is just like, he hated the government. He wasn't a tyrant, and of course she would know. She would be honest with herself. I don't think Bonnie's one of those people that are like, she just, stayed behind the scenes and just ignored the evil just to see because she got her father's attention or gifts and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
she's definitely one of those people that understands the situation and what's going on. So she 100% understood her father was no tyrant.
Yeah. Like she's trying to clear his name, and that's hard. That's a hard ass
Especially
like,
when the world
man.
looks at him as this, and you're one person.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then ending off that section, Oda just throws a huge like curveball at us. Like he just randomly throws in that he's from a special race. Do you think this is one of the races that Big Mom was after?
What was the name of it exactly?
No, they don't say. They just say like he's
special race.
People.
Yeah.
Yeah, special people.
I wonder if that's just Lunarians, because I feel like they've only been talked about once, and Kuma obviously the aesthetic of them being like a darker skin. Kuma didn't have white hair though. That's the only thing, is that they said that they had white hair, wings, and they had that skin, and even the people of Skypiea very similar. So it's like maybe he was something different.
So I'm saying,
wouldn't that make Bonnie different?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe his wife or whoever he did his thing with was a human, and then Bonnie
that way she
became a human.
And this is anime. There's a lot of I'll take care of you. You are my daughter. Like,
shit like that.
Know.
Yeah. So we don't know. Like Oda has to go in depth with it. Like the best we could do. Yeah, best we could do is theorize. But that's the fun part about One Piece.
Hell yeah.
Like theorizing, talking about
the craziest thing out of all that whole section is, can we get a lightsaber Zoro? Is that a possibility? Can we get a laser, like you just said there's a laser sword, even Luffy was bugging out like, what? That's so cool. Like he's 100% going to tell Zoro, like, I got something that can cut through anything.
Yeah, that'd be
that scientific shit. I like the science shit just because like.
Listen, when in 1999, when the Phantom Menace dropped for One Piece, Oda, when he was doing weekly releases for Shonen Jump for One Piece, he dropped a cover as Zoro as Anakin Skywalker.
Really?
Oh, did he?
Oh shit!
Yep.
Damn.
You can look that up. 100%. It was back in 1999 from a Shonen Jump. He dropped it as him sitting with the same aesthetic as Anakin Skywalker and all that. And I believe he's done it twice. He's done it somewhere else too, where Zoro had like everybody was dressed up as Star Wars characters, and I think like Jinbei was a Wookiee or something like that, or I got him or Frankie mixed up. But he had Zoro as like a Sith Lord / Jedi. Like you couldn't tell which side he was on.
That's sick.
So. Like, listen, it's clear he's a Star Wars fan. I mean, Oda, being from that generation and stuff, like that was a big, heavy influence, of course. And seeing a beam sword, it just gives you the thought of, hey, yo, what if?
That would be the sword he puts in his mouth type shit. That would be crazy.
Nuts.
Have like red, green, blue, and shit. Going crazy.
Nah, the all three, damn well all three is gonna be green.
Yeah, that would be sick too.
It would have to be.
Zoro be having some hard ass moments, bro.
They still haven't talked about what happened with that Grim Reaper, but that's another.
Yeah, that actually brings me to the next part of the chapter. We find out that Zoro and Brook stayed behind on the ship.
Yeah.
And then we know, you guys remember how Zoro and Kaku met in Water 7, right?
Zoro and Kaku?
Yeah, you guys know how they met.
No, exactly.
Zoro stayed behind. He was the only one to stay behind while Kaku...
And he pulled up to the ship?
Yeah, Luffy sends Kaku to go check out the ship. And we know who is part of CP0. Kaku.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking Oda might do another... Like I said, Oda always does this with the mirroring and parallels. So maybe he'll do it again where Kaku tries to hit the ship. Well, he's not going to hit the ship. If it comes to visit Zoro or something, they have like a conversation. Or even before then,
one of the...
Yeah, and then Zoro has to warn everyone about CP0 coming. I don't know. And then, what's I going to say? I was going to talk about because Zoro and Brook stayed behind. Maybe they'll have a conversation about the Reaper.
Yeah.
But Oda did it for a reason. There's no way Zoro just
Oda
stayed
be
behind.
in his bag, bruh. He
I
just
didn't even think of that. Hold
Yeah,
up,
that's
hold up, hold
crazy.
up. Like Brooke could be like, yo, you got a weird aura about you. Like, what's going
he
on? And he
noticed
like
like
goes,
some undead shit.
yeah. So
Mhm.
he like puts his soul into him or some shit. Like that would be crazy. Plus, listen, Zoro, open your fucking eye.
Yeah. Yo, if he opens his eye,
I want
it's
to
a
know
Sharingan
what
and
happens.
shit.
Like, imagine like he opens his eye, there's like a crazy explosion, and then they all
Yeah.
go back, and it's just him and Brooke passed out or something. Like that
Yeah.
would be so nuts.
Because Oda and
Yeah.
Kishimoto, they're like cool, so it might be some like homage to like the Sharingan, which would be fucking sick. Like not like a clean cut, but like something
But let's be
similar.
honest though, he fought Kaido, he fought all these people, and didn't open up that eye.
Mhm.
Zoro
So
was
it's
like the
like
king of holding back.
maybe,
Me personally, I
maybe
think it's just a scarf.
yeah, but at this point, maybe it is a scar. Maybe we've all just been overthinking it. Until he does it, we don't know.
Yeah, man. Oda could do whatever he wants with
Yeah.
that. But I was just thinking like either two of those things can happen. Like in the meantime, Zoro and Brook maybe have a conversation. Because there's no way he just had Zoro stay behind. Like obviously he's playing something for Zoro on the ship.
Yeah.
Like he had all the other Straw Hats go on the island. Zoro stay behind with Brook.
And it's crazy
He
because
got
it's
tricked
like
out.
yeah, and it's like Zoro like he like they trust him to like fucking watch the ship. Like who the fuck gonna fuck with Zoro? Like fuck.
And right before that, did you peep that they went to Punk Records? How tough is that?
Punk Records.
Like, they flew all the way up to the sky, and then like where I
like a
guess the
robot,
main,
yeah.
where the main Vegapunk is, like he's in like some like like Punk Records,
Punk
like it's
One?
some, like he's in some like music industry or some shit.
Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
label, yeah, record label.
Yeah, it was like the record label or something. That's how I looked at it. That was kind of dope.
that
Oh yeah, I noticed it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The
The-
egg cracking open. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, at the very top, yeah, you can see it like in the background.
But
Then they
I
get
don't
dripped
think
out.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Usopp looks
I don't
tough.
think anything. Yeah, I don't think anything else. Oh yeah, Robin and Nami's outfit over the top. I ain't
Oh
gonna
yeah,
lie.
for sure. Fan service.
They knew, yeah, I'm about to say they knew what the hell they was doing.
But I think that's pretty much it for the chapter, right? Except for
Well,
obviously. the whole
yo,
big
hold on,
reveal.
hold it. Shit.
We got one more piece of.
That's what I'm saying. That the big reveal, yeah.
Yeah, bro. Vegapunk said, "I think I'll be dead soon." And then
Stop
she
telling
said,
bad jokes. They're not
Yup.
funny. So I wanted you to hear me out. Dragon.
"Bruh."
Hold up. So two things. So we know that the world government wants him dead, but we also know that the world government is on standby.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Do you think he plans on being killed by Bonnie?
Vegapunk.
Yeah. Or you think Bonnie's capable? You think somebody on the crew, or you think possibly Bonnie or somebody infiltrated and might kill them?
Well, Zoro did say he wanted something from him.
I don't know, man.
So like,
But he's definitely like when he says my death is imminent or gay. I'm pretty sure it's a guy or whatever. He says I expect that my death is imminent. I'm not thinking he's gonna die by natural causes or disease, but
Hell
he's
no.
expecting to.
Hell no, somebody's gonna kill him.
Expecting to be killed. So,
mhm.
but who is it gonna be though?
He said, "I just want you to know about this dragon."
It's gonna be Soga King.
Yeah, imagine.
Yeah, Soga King was him, bruh. But shit, bruh. Like shit's gonna pop off in Egg Island, and
But
Nuts. This is nutty.
why do you? Oh, I guess this would be my last point for the chapter. Why do you think? Oh, last question. Why do you think? Because we know Vegapunk is so adamant about like being under the government, working for the government. Like when which one was it? Punk 05 gets introduced. She says, "You guys are silly. I'm not actually here to help you. After all, I'm working under the government." But then we see Punk 1 talking to Dragon, who is in direct conflict with the government. You know, the whole revolutionaries, they hate the government. They want to get rid of it, like destroy the government.
yeah.
So what do you think is going on with that?
My biggest thing is, I think,
I made any
like, do
sense.
people go, is Vegapunk a traitor? Is this the only version of him that feels this way? Like, how many are dedicated to the world government? How many are, maybe hidden agents? How many of them have a hidden agenda or go by their own accord? Like number one, is he the only one that's working with the Revolutionary Army? Like you mentioned, Punk 2, she says, I'm not helping you guys. I'm just, you guys were just here, and it just so happens that I saved you guys. And Punk 5, she's saying like I'm work under the government direct. Like she didn't have to say that, and I feel like I don't know. Maybe everybody has a mind of their own, and them saying they're gonna come kill Vegapunk. It's us. It's which Vegapunk? Because there's 6 of them. Which one are you talking about? And if they're talking specifically about number 1, maybe. Man, listen, I need to know what this conversation with number 1 is.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Listen, I need to know because it's got to be. He can't be the only one that is sided with himself.
Yeah,
it can't be. There's no way.
I think this also ties into the theory, or like they all had different personalities, or like different
based on the.
So that's why each of them act differently. Because he split his subconscious into. That's what I'm getting from the whole split into 6. Like he split his subconscious into like 6 different Vegapunks.
Do you think that? I was gonna say real quick, my bad. Do you think that has anything to do with Blackbeard, like that theory, 3 different personalities?
Maybe he could have been like a little experiment, but instead of him splitting it into 3 different people, it's just 3 different souls in one body.
Yeah.
Like
Vegapunk mastered it.
Because we know he's like a whole science freak with the whole Momo and Kaido Dragon. Yeah, with the whole Momo and Kaido Devil Fruit. Like, I think he threw out Momo's Devil Fruit. That's how Momo got it. Like, because he wanted a perfect like he's a perfectionist.
Yeah.
So he found Blackbeard's trait about the 3 personalities in one. He's like, maybe I can make it better, put it into 6 different personalities. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, nah, for sure.
Really, man, because he did say it was a failure, and yet look at the results.
That's what I'm saying. He's a perfectionist.
So would that mean like what's the incentive though to have like 6 different or 3 different personalities or like 6 different people? Like
they can act independently.
True, they get more
being able to cover more. You still know what you know. You probably still have the vision of what you want to create, but it just changes based on the personality. Like
this goes into like Kishimoto and Oda being best friends. I could see it being like the sacred, Pain, or even Naruto Shadow Clones when Naruto he gets information once Shadow Clone comes back to him. Yeah, something like that. I don't know, but the whole dragon part was interesting. I did not expect that.
Yeah, I didn't expect that at all. That was such a fucking curveball.
Yeah, I wonder what Oda's gonna do with that.
What does this mean? Like, what if Dragon pulls up next chapter like, "You're..."
Yo, that'll be nuts.
Cause bro,
I'm on my way.
About him, yeah. And he pulls up.
That's crazy.
Because because Dragon, he's against the government, and then especially Emu, Oh man, I don't. It's just hard because we don't know until Oda comes out.
It's all speculation, bro.
Just theorize. Hey, we could be wrong, we could be right.
That's the beauty in it.
Now, how'd you guys feel about the chapter? I give it an 8 out of 10 personally.
I'll give it like 8.7.
8.7. Okay.
Yeah. What about you, Blint?
Man, I'll be honest. I'll give it an 8 because I got a lot from the interactions. It wasn't it wasn't bouncing back and forth. I got a lot of good information, and I was definitely surprised, like you said, Dragon. That's crazy.
I think, and we had like I said, we had a lot of interactions. We got some characterization from we got some Pudding, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Pudding.
Yeah, I keep forgetting her name. Yeah, we got some characterization. We got.
You cut off.
Yeah.
Nah, you sound really low, like you're far away.
I think I could help piggyback off what he was saying. Pretty much, we definitely got a lot of information, a lot of character, disposition. We're learning about all different types. So many questions, why did Sanji? I mean, not Sanji. Why did Zoro stay behind? There's so many different questions on what's going on, little tidbits, and it was short and sweet, but it was it made you question a lot what was going on.
Yeah, Definitely, especially
100%.
with the Zoro and Brook, and it's perfect because it's Brook, and Brook like his power is kind of in that realm of the Grim Reaper, so we're
Yeah, I didn't
definitely
even think about that. So
yeah,
Manny bringing that up got me thinking like, damn,
hell
that's
yeah,
crazy. I never even thought about that.
yeah,
Yeah, this goes. Can you guys hear me now?
yeah, yeah,
Yep.
Yeah. This goes back to even Thriller Bark, where Brook saw Zoro being the one to try to sacrifice himself. Well, it was both Zoro and Sanji
yeah,
trying to
yeah, yeah.
sacrifice
So,
himself, but
Sanji
Zoro's the
stepped up first. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
You know
I
what
have
I'm
to always
saying?
throw that in because Sanji my boy. But yeah, but Brook saw that Zoro's trying to sacrifice himself for Luffy. Maybe like Brook is always the one like noticing Zoro
Yeah.
doing stuff like that. So I wonder how the conversation is gonna go. But that's all I had.
I feel like
Yeah, man.
reading the chapter is like one thing, but like having this conversation, like I feel like I was like listening, which is good, cause like y'all just shared a lot of insight that I would have otherwise never known or like not thought of. So like that's kind of why I gave it an 8.7, cause it's like there's a lot of things that like maybe I slipped under the rug or didn't pay too much mind to it, but just hearing the theories and stuff was like, damn, this shit was gas. Like this shit went crazy.
Every week, man. There's always something with One Piece.
Hell
My
yeah.
favorite for a reason.
And like, yo, that robot that took him up, that shit's hard. Like the anti-gravity and shit, like.
Can't wait till Frankie gets his own version.
Yeah,
Of
bro.
But that's what I'm saying. There's no reason for Zoro to stay behind. They're pretty much protected. The big ass robot took them into the island. They're pretty much safe there. There's no reason to guard the ship.
Yeah, true. But that just goes into more of like we're gonna learn lore about what happened with that Grim Reaper. What do you think that Grim Reaper is? Do you think like maybe it was one of his ancestors, or like?
Nah, I just think it was
like death personified.
Yeah, that or maybe a new ability that he's gonna get into.
Honestly, I think it could have been like Enma. Like it could have been like, because he doesn't have a devil fruit, so why would he be seeing something that isn't there? And don't get me wrong, he has hockey and that could play a part into it, but the fact that Enma has a soul and has this interactions with him where he can't control it or something happens, like I feel like maybe Enma is death itself put into a blade.
What does Enma mean?
Enma. Doesn't it mean monkey or something? Or is that a monkey?
Let's see.
The Japanese name for Yama, the Buddhist and Chinese god who presides over Naruku, hell, god of hell. Oh no, you're right, but a deity and or personification of death. That's what Enma is. So that was like right. That was right on.
I was just spitballing that around. Here we go.
Hey,
here, back in the Lord.
Oh, I was thinking. When I said monkey, I was thinking about Naruto, the Sarutobi summoning. That's why I said monkey.
Oh, Enma. Yeah.
I was like, where was I going with that?
Speaking of Naruto, next week is break week, so next week we could definitely talk about shit. Chainsaw Man.
Is it on break next week?
Yeah, it's on break next week. We can talk about Bleach.
You guys watch Chainsaw Man?
Huh?
You guys watch Chainsaw Man?
I
read it. Yeah, I'm probably like.
I haven't watched
it.
Yeah, I haven't watched.
Yeah, I said in the preview for episode 3, the animation is gonna be over the top.
Quick question, random anime. Have y'all watched Blue Lock?
I haven't.
Oh, that's soccer. I probably won't. I don't know.
I'll be completely honest with you, gang. I've watched a lot of anime, a lot of sports anime. Sometimes it's BS. I like Hajime no Ippo, a couple of the classics, but
that's different. Actually, like
Megalobox too. But Blue Lock is like that.
Blue Lock.
And I'm not a soccer fan. I'll be honest with you, I'm not a soccer fan. But boy, listen, Blue Lock is like that.
I'm gonna definitely check that out. Sure.
I'll check it out. Like maybe I'll.
You read it or watch it?
I've watched it. I think it's only like 3 episodes right now. I've only watched the first 2, but I'm telling like that.
Oh, I'll watch that shit. Where is it? It's on Crunchyroll?
It's on Crunchy.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely
Shout out
look into
Crunchy.
that. Yeah, hell yeah. They cooking up. But what do y'all think about Bleach, the anime, man? That shit.
I watched like some clips. I'm probably just gonna wait till like the actual war starts.
Yeah, when who.
I'm gonna wait to binge. I'll be honest. I'm a binge type of person.
I'm waiting for the Byakuya fight. That fight.
Oh.
Y'all know he was supposed to die, right? But then Kubo was getting mad backlash for that.
Yeah, that's what I said.
He's going crazy.
Toxic. Yeah, toxic.
Because not even to go too deep into it, but if he died, like the fight with what's her name, his sister? Oh shit, I'm blanking out.
Yeah.
Rukia, yeah, that would have been way more poetic, bro. Way more.
That's what I'm saying, like her getting revenge and shit.
Yeah, bro. Hell, oh my,
Her
I'm getting
going into the
goosebumps
ice
all
queen.
over
Yeah.
again, man. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
That whole just reading the Blood War arc was one thing, but now seeing it in this animation is gonna be nuts. But like you said, I want to wait.
The animation's too good. That's what I'm
I
saying.
want to wait.
Really,
like,
I'm just waiting for the war to start, and I'll start.
Like we haven't seen nothing yet. We haven't seen a fight yet, like a real. You know,
yeah, it's a slow start. Like I think we're like 3 episodes in right now, and then
I just watched the first one. Shit, I might watch these next two while I'm eating lunch or some shit.
Oh, word.
Bro,
I gotta go. Definitely.
Oh yeah, when he pulled out the bankai on the roof, that shit gave me goosebumps, bro.
Oh yeah.
That shit just sounds
the
so
voice
tough.
acting.
Hell yeah, man.
Are they simulcasting it or is it just Japanese for right now?
I think it's just Japanese for right now, but
I prefer Japanese, but I do want to like see how it sounds in English too.
Yeah. I felt
yeah,
that.
they definitely got to bring back what is it? What is his voice actor? The dude that used to play the Black Power Ranger?
Johnny Young Bosch.
Yeah.
Johnny Bosch.
Yeah, he used to keep killing it. As long as they bring it back the original cast and just up it from there. I mean, it's Bleach in 2022. Like, who doesn't want to be a part of that?
Bleach is just, the thing I love about Bleach is like it'll grab your attention like for like a casual or like someone who's just entering because it's just motherfuckers with swords just getting sturdy, bro. Like it's like who wouldn't want to watch that? But when you take a deeper look, like Kubo, like that shit is so fucking poetic, bro. Like the fight with Tozen and Kumo, I forgot his name, Kumo.
Sajin, just say Sajin.
Yeah, that fight, bro.
The dog dude, right?
Yeah. That fight was so sad, bro, because there were boys and Tozen was just like a traitor, and it's like that shit was just I was in my bag.
That was
bro.
wild.
That was so sad.
They threw Shuhei in there too at the end because Kaname was his captain.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, bringing that, giving the call back. That was nuts.
We just top three. What do they call it? Holy Shonen Trinity: One Piece, Bleach, Naruto.
Yeah, man, I had that.
That's the big three, baby. That's the OG big three.
Bro, I left Bleach. I was in like the Rancor War, I think, or just before that, and I read it straight through, bro. Fire, bro, nonstop. My favorite arc is the Fullbring arc. I know that's a hot take, but I love that shit. I love that shit.
I'm about to end this call. That's a Fullbring arc.
Yo, that's my shit, bro. That's my shit.
The only thing I liked about the Fullbring arc was like, the end where the
friends
show up.
the captains. Yeah, that was sick. I
really don't like the arc.
I just like how Ichigo like he was broken down, bro. He was just like a regular human. Like he got his powers taken away. Like he just broke down. It was just like such a solo.
Yeah, he got his powers taken away, and then they introduced him to have the powers of everybody.
He got his powers taken away, all of his friends taken away from him by Tsukishima, and then he broke down, and then that's when Rukia came in, brought him back.
He was like, "Man, stop crying, bitch." Brought him back.
Bad that boy up.
But yo, when Tsukishima, he was on the couch with his family, and they were like, "Oh, our cousin's here," and he was like, "Yeah, like what's good, bro? Like miss you, like acting like he was part of the family." And then Ichigo just goes crazy. Like that shit was wild, bro. Mind fuck, insane.
I don't know how you like that arc though.
Chill, bro. That should go crazy.
I can see why you like it. I don't know how you have it as your favorite. You can like it all you want.
You say you can like it all you want. That's definitely a hot take whenever I pull that up. But
but I think my favorite arc is the it's either Soul Society. I think my favorite arc is Soul Society. If not, then it has to be a Rancor.
Rancor definitely.
Ichigo
versus Ryukyoda. Bro.
Ichigo. Oh yeah.
Hold on. All right. So the One Piece stream, we wrapped it up. All right. Appreciate y'all tuning in, man. We'll catch y'all in the next one. Next week is week. We could definitely chop it about. We could chop it up about other animes and stuff, but catch y'all in the next one.